Okay, Monica, we got it switched over. So basically, the other live we had, the link that was sent out turned over. So I sent a message through YouTube to those people that stand by and switch over here, just so you know. So we're live now. Here we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome to Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Don't forget to activate my video, Joey. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. I am so excited for today. Apologize for the late start here. What are we at? 7:09. We were right on time. And then we accidentally went live and then stopped going live. So we had this great video of the side of my face for a second. But today's amazing. Today's a really good day. And I've got a good friend of mine, a student here at the studio, Miss Monica Tapia. How are you?
Woo!
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's dig right in here a little bit. So you were, and by the way, I should just get this out of the way. So you went to the U of A. I forgive you. We'll move forward from there. So you,
yes, bear down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we won't talk about that because I don't want to go there. So you were born and raised in Gilbert, Arizona. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about your upbringing a little bit.
Well, my dad is from LA, but he was raised in Mexico. Same with my mom.
Is your dad like
so
LA?
No.
No, he's not. Okay.
No, he's not. He was born there, but then like moved when he was like I think 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So then he was raised in Mexico, and then my mom's from Mexico, and that's where they met. And then my dad actually went to U of A too for college.
Okay.
It runs in the family.
Sure, I understand.
And then they came here. They did struggle.
They struggled, you said?
Yes.
Talk to me about the struggle.
It's hard raising 5 children in a community that they weren't really accepted based on their race.
Yeah, well, you know what? I want to apologize first and foremost for anybody that did not accept them, because that is unacceptable. And I also want to say it's hard to raise 5 children, period.
Yes,
I don't care. I don't care where you are. So, you know, your parents are heroes in my book. So, all right. So they're raising 5 children, and were they already back in the States before they started having kids?
No, they had my oldest sister in Mexico, and then they moved here in Arizona.
Okay. And so they struggled through just raising kids and getting citizenship and working through that whole process, right? So what is your family what is your family doing now?
Right now we are doing good. My dad has accomplished a lot. He worked really hard. He has his own civil engineer business now, which has been a goal for him.
Uh-huh.
And then we're all working. We all went to school. We all graduated.
It's amazing.
So I think they did pretty good.
Yeah, they did, and so did you. And you know what? Here's the thing. I've seen this happen time and again, and there's something to be learned by everybody. There seems to be this different drive that certain immigrants have when they come into the U.S. because they don't take things for granted. And I think a lot of times when you're born here and you just don't know any better, you just sort of think that's the way things are, and you don't work as hard, and then you're surprised somehow when these other people are just lapping you. And you know, and your parents are an example of that, and now you get to carry on the legacy, which is very cool. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that artwork behind you. It's very beautiful.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, this is my mom. My mom picked it out for our living room.
Well, she's got good taste.
So,
I like it.
I don't know much about it. I don't know why
it doesn't have meaning or anything
because it's pretty.
You know, because it's interesting. I always say in these Zoom meetings when people are job interviewing or doing different things, what you put behind you says something about you, right? So like you chose this spot, and I agree with your mom. They're very pretty. I didn't know if they had any deeper meaning or something.
Nope, it's just for the looks.
Just for the looks. All right, cool.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, so you're the youngest of 5. What is that like to be the youngest, by the way?
I love it.
Okay.
I've learned a lot from my siblings. We're very close. We talk about everything. If we have a problem, we talk about it and we solve it together. I definitely did not get in trouble because I was the youngest and I knew what would happen to me if I did do certain things that they didn't like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Being the youngest is a great teacher. It's pretty wonderful.
You know a bit about that, Joey.
I'm also the youngest, so
yeah.
It's the best.
I've gotten to learn from a lot of my brother's mistakes before I make them myself.
Exactly, and I have 4, so I had a lot to learn.
Okay, good. So, so then a year ago, you decided to take a risk. You say here and jump into acting and further pursuing your dream. But you're a dancer, right? You've been dancing since you were 3.
Yes, I am.
So tell me about that. What kind of dance and what do you like to do, and how active are you still in that?
Yes, I do all kinds. I'm trained in jazz, ballet, hip hop, contemporary, and lyrical. My favorites are jazz because it's like more upbeat and fun, and a little sassy, and I like contemporary. It's a little bit more emotional and more storytelling, which I like about it. And since I grew up dancing, it was a form of the way I communicated with people. And not dancing as much as I did when I was younger because I did competitive, and it was like my life throughout high school. And in college, I was in a club, but it wasn't as intense as my younger years.
And then what about now?
It's right now I take classes here and there to get my body moving. My body can't move the same way, but it's nice to loosen up my body and dance again because it was my first love, and I don't want to stop doing that because my body hurts sometimes.
Right. And I'll bet you part of the reason why your body hurts is just from not doing it too as often. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And not stretching a lot too. Yeah.
All right, good. So then you decided recently, about a year ago, to jump into acting. So talk to me about that decision and what's going on with you when you make that decision.
Yes. So in college, I took a acting class. It was like college students for acting for Gen Ed, and I loved it. And we had to go to a musical theater show. It was a cabaret. And I went to the show and I fell in love. Like, you're singing, you're acting, and you're dancing. And I fell in love with it, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do that. But it took me like 3 years till I pulled the punch and was like, I'm going to take an acting class.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go because I'm from Gilbert and I couldn't find any in my area. And my sister Maria works out in Scottsdale and knows a lot of people that know of like acting places, and she met a former student, Kevin Wassey, and recommended me to you guys. And then I called and Shay answered. So we're just talking how Shay knew Kevin too.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Yeah. And then I just decided to just go for it and just do it.
Awesome. Now, did you know coming in how hard acting was going to be?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
Yes, because I get really shy in expressing myself, I knew it was going to be challenging because acting, you obviously communicate with your words. And I've always communicated and I always expressed myself through dance. And now I have to express myself through acting, but also portray a character and express their feelings too.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it was going to be challenging, but it's going great so far.
Yeah.
I've gone out of my comfort zone for sure.
Good. Okay. And so, and then you're taking singing lessons, is that right?
Yes, I am.
How's that going?
It's going good. It's hard. Like, you have to rewire your brain and how to like use your diaphragm and then not squeezing your throat or else you hurt your throat. Just a lot of things.
Now, did you sing your whole life? Was that a part of who you were, or are you just adding this to your arsenal now?
I'm adding it.
Okay.
Dang. I'm gonna take the shade roll here and be like, "You go, girl." Yeah.
I don't know that you're allowed to, Joey, but we'll take that as a soundbite. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my best. Sweetness.
I don't know. You could tell us, Monica. Like, as a young man, is Joey allowed to say "you go, girl"? Like, is that okay?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe just.
I don't mind it.
Maybe just because it's Joey, because he's so cute, he can get away with just about anything.
Yeah, that's very
Aw,
true.
shucks, guys.
Okay, so we're gonna get into some of what you're going through right now in a minute, but you say here that you're sensitive to energies. Tell me about that.
Yes, I am. I am very. How do I explain that? Let's see.
Like, is this a God thing? Are you connected into spirit and you can feel, between people, or what? Like, what's the? How would you describe it?
How would I describe it? Let's see. Well, yes, on God, that part. I think it is a gift that He has given me to be able to feel others people's feelings, such as like either pain or happiness or anything, and maybe help them in a way to help them. Maybe I would take some of that pain away.
Yeah.
Because I am very absorbent, but it can be draining sometimes.
Totally.
For me.
Mm-hmm. I relate to that. So I think one of the next steps for you, because I've been working with somebody on some similar stuff, and one of the next steps will be to learn how to not absorb it, but to help people release, and then you release it away immediately so you don't carry it.
Yeah.
Because that can be
Definitely.
very draining, and then you can help less people that way too. If you're always carrying a lot of stuff around, you eventually get worn down.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what are you getting from me? What's the energy that's coming through the screen?
Through the screen?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's an energy between us, right? So what are you getting from me?
I think it's different than when I first met you or saw you.
Okay. I would like to hear about both.
Okay. The first time I was unsure. It was hard for me to connect to you because your energy was foreign to me. And I didn't know if it was because of me, if I was giving you off a different energy, something that I'm not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now.
So what were you picking up then?
I was picking up like you were unsure about me and didn't know if I was truthful or authentic.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt. Very good. That's incredible.
Yes?
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Because,
I felt that.
Well, let me tell you. That's right. That's right.
Truly incredible. I mean,
so here's the. I'm just gonna lay down the absolute truth. I am a truth teller. I believe in the truth. I feel like it's one of the most important values we can have, and talking to you today, I feel like I know you more in the last 10 minutes than seeing you around here for a year.
Yeah.
So there was probably an aura you were putting on walking in as your sort of actor self or something. And maybe I was picking up on that vibe and just going like, okay, I'm waiting to see the real her so we can really tap into that and help you, fulfill your dreams. So I think I didn't know what was true. I just felt like there was something that was not quite all the way authentic.
Okay. Yes,
That's
I
interesting.
get that.
Okay, what about now?
You are open, more accepting, and not positive. Good vibes.
Good vibes. Okay, cool. I like that. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I agree. You're sensitive to energies. That's amazing. Okay, so then you said you've been self-diagnosed with social anxiety?
Yes.
So why would you self-diagnose yourself? I mean, if I could self-diagnose myself with anything, that wouldn't be one I would choose.
Yes. I guess it validates the way I am.
Yeah. I'm the same way, by the way. No judgment. So here's how I try to explain it to people, and I work at this because I'm trying to get better in that area. I know it's one of my weaknesses, but I tell people, and it is really true. I'm so much more comfortable being on stage in front of a couple thousand people than I am being one of the couple thousand people watching the person on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. I said I'm a lot more comfortable being on stage in front of a couple thousand people than I am being in the crowd of a couple thousand people.
Oh, okay. Yes. That makes sense.
And I think it's because there's a separation from the social aspect of it, really. And there's so much you can do to prepare to be the one on stage, but to be one of the crowd and have to kind of fit in and talk to people and stuff. That the social part of it it gives me anxiety too.
Yeah.
Even kids' birthday parties, I'm like, ugh.
I almost mentioned it, and then I was like, I don't know if you would want me to talk about that.
Oh, what?
Your thing with kids' birthday parties.
It's so tough. Kids' birthday parties are so tough because here's the thing: the kids kind of know each other, and then usually, I don't want to stereotype, but usually at these things, the moms know each other in somewhat. And then the dads just get thrown into a bucket, and they're just like, talk. Do you like each other? Like, what did you hit? Did you click with Joe? And I'm like, I don't know Joe. Like, I'm just tell me when we can leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job reaching out to the dads and building a relationship so the birthday parties aren't awkward. But they're so awkward, and it's because I'm awkward. Like, I walk in and I'm like, oh no. Dads, what am I going to do?
Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
Exactly. So I just run to my kids. I'm like, let me give the baby.
Yeah.
I want to change the diaper. It sounds fun. Yeah, okay. So I relate to you there. Oh, yeah. So you know Jeremy Lopez.
Yeah, my sister is friends with him. I don't know him personally, but
he's a dreamboat, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Jeremy Lopez fan. I know him as Jeremy Andorfer from way back when. So he's he was a longtime student and became a very good friend. He's actually I don't know if you've read this little number here, the book I wrote, but he quoted something because he read it and gave me a quote, and I put it on the book. It's really neat. He said, because he's out in LA and he's crushing it. I don't know if you know who Jeremy is, but he's doing really well. Yeah. But he writes, the brutal truth: talent, good looks, and desire aren't enough. Now, of course, this is very nice of Jeremy to basically say about himself that he's talented, good looking, and he's right.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, he's gonna love this show. I can't wait to rip on Jeremy. Okay, so he says, the brutal truth: talent, good looks, and desire aren't enough. You must develop strategies to monetize doing what you love. Every actor should read and reread this book. Jeremy A. Lopez, president and founder of Vangelis Films. And if you're looking for a great filmmaker, Jeremy is that, and he's an amazing actor as well. But he was very kind to write down these nice words for my book to help inspire other people. But he's so right though too, and I mean it. I'm not kidding. He is a dreamboat. Like, he's a very good looking kid, and talk about just grit and work ethic. I mean, his father passed when he was young, and that's another one of those things where when you lose a parent, especially a father at a young age, there's something that happens to people, and they tend to go one way or the other. They either get very dedicated and committed, and they kind of become the parent of themselves and their siblings, and they rise up, or, you know, it can be very devastating. And Jeremy's one of the ones that I can tell you has taken that experience, and I know it was painful, but he's taken that experience and done some really, really wonderful things with his life. So yeah, big Jeremy Andorfer fan. Jeremy Lopez, I apologize. So yeah, that's nice that you guys know him. He's very cool. All right, so we're going to go into your issues now. We're going to deal with it.
Okay.
We're gonna bring some dark to the light. So you've been battling laziness. Let's just throw it out on the table. Talk to us about how lazy you've been.
I've been pretty lazy.
I see. I love that. It's so authentic. By the way, it's so attractive. You have no idea how attractive it is when you're honest. It's crazy. Like, people got to get over their stuff and just be them. I was telling Joey, by the way, my biggest weakness is laziness. It's my biggest weakness.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's so hard. And that's why a couple years ago when I had my big awakening, that's why I do the morning thing that I do and the crazy hours and stuff, because I have to actually every day make this crazy choice to overcome my instinct, which is just to lay down and watch Netflix and don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, he said that, and I, for a second, I was like, okay, really? Like, seriously? And then I looked into it, and I thought about it, and I was like, no, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because at this point, like, he's using it as a motivator, and he motivates, like, us as his team and the students and whatnot. But it's interesting because it's, like, something that can be debilitating for people or a big weakness has been turned into a strength and has been something that I can learn from Matt. So it's really interesting because it's one of those things, like, somebody says something like that and they're super motivated and they're, like, crushing you in every way possible, and you look at them and you're like, really? But then you realize, like, of course they are, because they had to fight that thing. And once you've acknowledged it, like he said, out loud to people, and then you continue to work on it every day, it becomes a motivator. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Joey. So that's one of the things I like to strive to find people's centers, both the good and the bad. And so when we find the person's center, then you can navigate around it. So so Joey's got a lot of good in him, and he's also hyper competitive to the point that it's debilitating. I mean, because it would be like if something didn't go right and he didn't win, it could ruin his week. You know, that's how he used to be. And so we've turned that and we've transmuted it into something that's very, very positive and very good. And so we'll take this laziness for me, and same idea. So I acknowledge it. I talk about it. I know that it's a weakness. Therefore, I know it's a daily choice I have to fight. But then I look at where is this actually, like, where does this benefit me in my life? And there's a couple ways that laziness, that instinct can actually help you. So here's one way specifically. Sometimes I'll go to do a job, and the job is just like, this job stinks. Like, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of work, and that's gonna take me like 3 hours to do whatever the job is. And I couldn't imagine doing this job 3 hours every day. I mean, that really, I don't want to do that. Like, that doesn't sound fun to me. So then my innovation mind pops in, and I go, I wonder if there's a way this could be easier, so I wouldn't have to do all that work, but the work would still get done. And then usually I'll find a way. So even just this happened last night, so weirdly, but we were trying to create this dolly for the kids movie camp, and
It's gonna be great.
And
by the way.
Joey's like, he's wrestling with it a little bit, and then he's like, "Here, will you work on this?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. Like, I got this." And I sit down. It's really hard. This stings. So then, as I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't want to be doing this. And so then I'm like, I went and grabbed or had Joey grab the toolbox. I look in the toolbox because I wanted to find a better tool. So there's this thing called a ratchet. You know what that is?
How does the end look like?
Yeah, well, it's not even about the end. It's
Okay.
it's one of these things where if I have a tool like this, right, and I have to keep like spin it, take it off, put it back on, spin it, take it off, put it back on, it's taxing on my hand and it's taxing on like the process, right? A ratchet, you put it on there, and the little mechanism in there, you go turn up, and it's like. You know, I don't know if you've heard that in like the mechanic shops or whatever. So I had one of those. So I pull it out, I stick it on, and it's like the job becomes 99% easier just because of the little extra tool. But honestly, I only thought about it because I'm super lazy. I didn't want to sit there and do the thing I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can take your weakness and you can turn it into your superpower. As long as you're willing to admit that it's a weakness, fight it, and then extract whatever's good from it and transmute it into something positive in your life.
Okay. So
let's take your dancing, for instance. Okay, so you're like, I'm too lazy to want to hurt like this all the time. Like I'm too lazy. So because I'm like, you know what, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. So instead, I'm going to stretch every day. That way I don't have to go through that pain because I just don't feel like going through that pain because that's super annoying to me. So by trying to avoid the pain was what people do when they default to laziness. You could actually just choose to do something super positive for yourself that puts you in a place where, you know, it's a win-win basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you're watching a lot of Netflix. So COVID happens, you've got all these goals and dreams, and then they just get wiped off the table, right?
Yes.
All right. So what happened? What's the big choice? How do we fall off the wagon?
Like choice to get back up and do it?
No, to fall down in the first place.
Oh, okay. It was my choice. I feel like the world was going crazy and it was very overwhelming. So I decided just to go in my room, watch some Netflix. That makes me happy.
Did anybody try to reach out to you and say, "Hey, come out of the room"?
My siblings.
They did?
Yeah, they would go in my room, be like, "What are you doing? Another show? Get up and do something."
No way, that's great. So, how did you react to him? Did you get mad?
I'm like, I am doing something. I'm watching Netflix.
I'm becoming a better actress because I'm watching movies.
Exactly.
Don't ever say that.
Don't
ever say that. That's the worst.
I know, it's bad.
Yeah. Good. So you got mad at them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is this is a big lesson for today for everybody watching. The hardest thing to do is to love the person that's criticizing you. But if you're smart, that's what you'll do because you want to train people that I want the criticism, I seek the criticism, I am grateful for the criticism because I believe the people that love you most are the ones that are going to hold a mirror to your face. Because it's not fun to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, you're being lazy, you know, you should really get up." That's not fun. And they know 9 times out of 10, they're going to get hit by a brick in the face by you because you're not going to react well to it. So if they're still willing to do that for you, there must be a tremendous amount of love there because there's nothing in it for them. There's no benefit. You're just going to be mad at them. They're going to go through a little fight. Like there's nothing good for them. So you have a responsibility to be grateful and to understand that this person's willing to put themselves under the flame for me. I better say thank you immediately and train them to know that I do want that kind of, sharpening of my saw, essentially.
Mhm.
So you got to say thank you. That's like a big deal. Because anybody, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, when you're, it's so easy to just default to the compliments and people that make you feel good, and they're gonna say things like, "Oh, it's okay," like, "Oh, don't worry about it," like, "Oh no, you're doing great," and but it's not true, because you're just like, so you start to feel hollow. So you gravitate toward these people that are not helping you be your best self, and then you don't feel motivated, you don't feel excited, you don't feel, I don't know, just good. I mean, because it feels good to grind. That's the funniest part about it. But
Yeah.
you have to be in it first, because you never want to do it.
Mhm.
So anyway, so you're gonna say thank you to your siblings. That's gonna be that's
Yes.
one of your chores today.
Yes. I appreciate them.
Yes. Okay. Good. So next, you did get up though. You eventually got off the bed, the couch, whatever you were watching Netflix on, and you started hitting it. So what happened? What was the catalyst there?
I felt gross. Like I felt so low and down.
Yeah.
I felt like a hobo.
There you go. Good.
I didn't like the feeling that I had.
Good. And so there's another lesson for everybody. You think you want to do less. You tell yourself this, like, oh, if I could just have a day off, like if I could just, but then you don't actually want it. Like, that's the funny thing. When you get there, if your whole goal in life is to not do anything, that's a problem. That's why I think the whole idea of retirement is sort of a bad idea, because people like work their whole lives to just do nothing and then they die. And it's like,
Yeah,
hey, not a great plan necessarily. So just take a note here from Monica. If you're sitting at home and you're not feeling good, it's probably because you're not active, you're not doing things, you're not going out there and trying to better yourself in some way, and you're falling into that negativity trap, essentially. So what you did is you hit bottom. And you said, "Oh, gross, I'm gross, enough's enough, I'm getting up, and I'm going to do something about it." Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, here's your next homework assignment. We're going to call that your floor, okay? So here's your floor. I feel nasty and gross after, let's say, 2 weeks of watching Netflix. And I'm just sweaty and whatever it is, I don't know. But you don't feel good. Okay, here's your floor. What we want to do is I don't really care about how high you get. I care about moving your floor. So the next time you fall into a slump, because it will happen again, that's life. Like, you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. God's the only one that's perfect. So you'll make mistakes. But when you do, ideally, we want that rock bottom to be a little bit higher. And your rock bottom, by the way, is already a lot higher than other people and lower than other people, right? So you're you. It's your own thing. But ideally, what you do is you move your floor, so that next time it only takes 3 days and you feel like lethargic and gross. And then eventually it's like, I can watch a show for fun, for me, 4 or 5 times a week maybe. So that's like a half hour, 4 or 5 times a week is a couple hours a week of TV. Hey, no problem. And I like that. It's part of who I am, part of what I do. I just enjoy it. That you can then do without feeling bad, feeling any guilt, feeling anything. And then if on a weekend you accidentally fall into one of those patterns where you go 3-4 hours of binge watching, you can hit rock bottom right then. Because the cool thing about rock bottom is like you're like, no, and you jolt yourself into action and you start doing things that are awesome, and that's how you start feeling better immediately. So if you keep moving your floor up, then you'll propel higher faster than if you focus on how high you can get. Because then you'll just go super high, but if you don't move your floor, then you'll come crashing back down, and then it becomes sadness again.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. So what are you doing now that you're up?
I am. I'm practicing my improv. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What?
Oh, okay. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm practicing my improv. I'm practicing my singing still, and I'm reading a lot more instead of watching TV.
Good.
And I'm exercising and doing ballet at home.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. Are you excited to be like out and about? Have you started venturing into the world yet?
Yes, I have. It's nice.
Yeah, it is great, right? Well, studio will be open here very soon. We open Monday for the kids camp, and then a week from then classes are operational. So that we're very excited for that as well.
I'm excited too.
Okay, so I want to end on this last note here. And you said your biggest challenge is letting go of the voice inside your head.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
What, Joey?
That is just like so relevant for me.
Oh, all right, good. So we're gonna teach Joey some stuff today
Yeah.
too. All right, so let's expand on that idea. Can you hear me? Yeah, you.
Yes, sorry. I wasn't sure if you were done with your sentence or not.
Let's expand on that idea. Yeah, no.
Cricket.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't talking to me there.
I trail off. I'll take it. I'll take the criticism, and I will thank you, Monica, for the criticism. I appreciate it. It's something I'm gonna work on. Okay, so let me be clear, Monica. Let's expand on your idea here of you trying to let go of the voice inside your head. Period.
That one's better.
And for future growth, you don't have to say period. Just so you know.
Okay, comma. I will try to work on that as well. Period.
It'll take some time.
Okay, Monica, go.
Okay. Expand. It's how do I expand that idea?
Well, detail it so we know.
Okay.
Because I just pretend like I'm a 4-year-old and explain to me what's the voice inside my head and what is that and why. Like how are you struggling to let it go and why should I?
Okay. Well, the voice inside my head always comes creeping in when something is challenging or out of my comfort zone, or I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's always there. But sometimes I don't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to learn how to fight it, not necessarily get rid of it. If that makes sense.
So is the voice we're talking about, is this self-doubt?
Yes.
Okay. And self-criticism and trying to impose that you're not good enough type behavior?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're right. That voice will never go away. There is the other voice, though, which is the good one, which is the one that's trying to get you up and get you going and get you excited. Now, know that the good voice and the bad voice, they both are not only living inside your head, but they live inside other people's heads, too. And I think that you get attacked and saved through other people. And this is why I say to say thank you when you're getting criticized by your sibling, as long as the criticism is coming from a good place, that's God working through them for you. So then you have to go, oh, if I get mad at them, I'm literally getting mad at God. Whoops, shouldn't do that. And then
that.
Yeah, and so then you look at this self-doubt, and I want you to know that it will never go away, and if you don't feel like you're not quite ready for the next thing, then I think you're not pushing yourself hard enough. So that's a good thing. If you can look at it that way and see it as a good thing, and then just make the choice, I'm going to push forward either way. I appreciate your advice. Thank you. I hear you. But I'm going to push forward. Now, I don't believe in you. Let's say, let's take dance, for instance. I don't believe that you should be trying to dance on a big stage in Broadway when you've only had 1 year of dance training. that you should have self-doubt and enough self-doubt that keeps you off the stage. It's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But to see little things and to say, okay, to get on the next stage, to get on the next whatever it is, or to even say yes to an opportunity that you know is going to cause you to grow, push yourself, work really, really hard. So like I would say if you were 15 and you were going to get an opportunity to dance on a Broadway stage 5 years from now, say yes. Are you ready? No, but I can get ready in 5 years. Sure, no problem. So you can look at it that way. And then there's this other side too, which is very attractive and good again, and which is the idea of humility. And so it's interesting. I looked at your sheet here, and your bio was so lovely, and your words were so kind and different things. And then you said on there you didn't know you didn't feel worthy to be on this show.
Yeah.
Which to me is ridiculous. I mean, it's like crazy because I'm like, of course you're worthy. But the fact that you thought that makes me feel like you're one of the most worthy of anybody who's ever been on the show. Because if you look at it that way, you're putting yourself in a frame of mind to be like, hey, wow, I just want to do good for the show. Like I like, so you're in a way you're lifting us up, and I can even look back at the metrics on the different people that I've had on the show, and what's crazy is it doesn't really matter how big of a name you were, or how much of a following you had. For the most part, the episodes that do the best are the people that really want to serve, and they love our studio, they love our mission, they want to share the message. And the message is not, hey, look at me, look at how good I did on the show, but the message is, hey, check out this show, it's so cool, I got to be on it. You guys should really check this out. And those ones tend to blow up. People are like very excited to jump on there. And it's usually because the person who's on the show is coming from humility. They're not saying, hey, look at me, I'm on a show. They're saying, hey, you guys wouldn't believe it, I got to be on the show. It's a really neat thing. You should check it out. And and I learned a lot. Maybe you could too. So that's humbling yourself down in order to lift somebody else up. So there's a lot of biblical ideas and practices in place here, but the idea of being a servant in order to be the leader, to be the one to get down on your knees and wash somebody else's feet and do the lowest of the low jobs actually makes you the king. That's the that's the interesting thing. So by you saying I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough in a positive way, in a loving way, sets you up to come in and not be arrogant and to actually prepare and to think through your answers and really be honest. Those are all great traits. Mm-hmm. So once again, we can take this voice now, a perceived negative, and we can transmute it into something that's positive and that is uplifting in your life.
Okay.
And it's interesting, I'll just hop on this. Typically, we don't talk too much about what goes on before the show very often, but like we pulled you in this morning, you and I had a conversation, you made me smile, like you had so much energy. And the interesting part about it is Matt and I both looked at each other afterwards about 15 minutes before the show, and we were like, this is going to be a really, really good one.
Yeah.
And it's because of it, like truly it's because of that attitude. It's because of the, like he said, not thinking that you're not worthy in a positive way. Like you were literally just giving off light and bubbliness to us. And honestly, like this morning, it's obviously early, like people can be tired. I was a little tired. I woke up late this morning, and that snapped me right out of it even more so. Like I was so excited to go live and get this started because of the energy you had coming in. So that was just something I wanted to share. I think it's really cool.
Thank you. I was really nervous about today, but I knew it was going to be good and a great conversation.
Yeah, and the most beautiful part about this is your honesty. It's the thing we talked about in the beginning that I wasn't sure how to connect to you, and now through your honesty, I feel like I know you. I feel like I honestly think that you're like more attractive, smarter, more successful. Like I think so much more highly of you because of you talking about your weaknesses. That's the most interesting thing. When you're willing to admit like faults, but you're also growing and like dealing with them, it brings you strength. I think the strongest people admit what they got wrong with them, because then it's out in the open, and then at least there's something to do about it. But if you're trying to cover up stuff, that to me is very unattractive, and that's something that and people can see it whether you realize it or not. Like they can see that you're concealing, and it becomes unattractive.
Yeah. And I feel like the shift of energies between us, I was able to be vulnerable and be honest.
Yeah.
Which helped me.
Good. And that's one of the things you want to work on this year. And for your goals, you're going to here's what you do. It's not that you're not going to achieve your goals, and not that you're not going to move you don't need to move your goals back. You need to change your goals.
Okay.
Let go of stuff that you can't control, like getting an agent and stuff. Let me tell you something right now. Let's go back to Jeremy's deal here. What did he say? Something about good looks and this and that. They're not, it's not enough. You are competent enough, good looking enough, etc. enough. You can get an agent tomorrow. So I'll help you get an agent. No, I'll help you get an agent right now. Seriously. Are you bilingual too? By any chance?
What was that?
Are you bilingual by any chance?
So I understand Spanish fluently, but I'm not fluently speaking it. But I am working on my Spanish right now.
Good. Well,
so that is the goal.
You do not stop doing that, please. Because
I know I need to. It's really important.
You're going to crush. You will crush. You will just dominate the Arizona market. I promise you. But, okay, I'm a married man, very happy. I'm allowed to say this. You're a gorgeous girl. You can have an agent tomorrow. It's not about that. So let go of that goal and dive into skill sets. So like going into dance, think to yourself, I don't want to get a dance agent. I don't want to get on like a particular stage. I want to learn this particular dance skill, this thing that I saw somebody else do, and I'm going, okay, I want to push my body to that place. Watch an actress that you really look up to, or an actor you really look up to, and look at the way that they're breaking down a script and doing certain things, and just look at them and go, I can't do that. They're better than I am. What skill sets do they have? What do I need to work on? And then set those goals that are very just all skill based, and those other things will just fall into place for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. By the end of next week, you'll have an agent, right, Joey?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so yeah, that's what's great, right? You thought your goals weren't going to like come true this year. You're going to beat you just beat your time frame. So
Yes,
so now let's let those go, and now let's focus on new goals that are going to be really life-giving for you.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show. That's our time today. Really, really appreciate it. It was awesome talking to you. I can't wait to see you in person here at the studio.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you for having me on. I feel so much better, like a weight has taken off my shoulders. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. And do me a favor. Make sure that somehow, some way, Jeremy Lopez receives this link. He needs to see this.
Okay. Yes, I will.
All right. God bless. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mornings with Matt. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. That means a whole lot to us, helps us to spread this light-driven message that we are trying to provide to the world. Thank you. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Hearing Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com